So hello and welcome back yet again to another, I would say WoW Wednesday, but it feels like just about every day has been World of Warcraft lately. It is what it is. This week we are going to be going through Elwynn Forest, which is a human-dominated area in the Eastern Kingdoms, and it's a place a lot of people know really, really well. Hopefully, I can show you one or two new things, but maybe not. I mean, this is probably one of the more explored areas in the Eastern Kingdoms, certainly. But it's still got a lot of interesting little nooks and crannies and things. I will peek into the Goldshire Inn. However, I play on Moonguard, so it's going to be packed. It's a notorious hotspot. I don't hang out much there. But if I go through the inn, I might just switch to a different realm and a different character just to go through the inn without 10 million people in it. But, yeah, without too much further ado, let's go to Elwynn Forest. Alright, so here we are with Beryl entering Elwynn Forest. Now, Elwynn Forest is an interesting place because it's been the hub of most of the human civilization in the Eastern Kingdoms for, I think, hundreds of years. It was actually formed by the Arathi bloodline of the Stormguard of Lordaeron. It's been taken over by orcs, it's been taken over by the Defias Brotherhood, but it always battles its way back, and it's also one of the richer areas as far as lumber and very rich in copper. There's a lot of herbs around, but the first place we are going to visit, well, we will run over here really quick to the Ridgepoint Tower. Just your basic little guard tower. Nothing much to it. I mean, there's really nothing inside of it. It's a pretty basic empty tower. You can run up to the top and get a good look out over the area. I'm too lazy to run to the top, so I'm just going to fly to the top, but it's a nice little lookout tower. You go a little bit to the side here, and you're going to be in the Eastvale logging camp. Now, the Eastvale logging camp has a few interesting things for me personally, possibly not for anybody else, but like I've mentioned about a bazillion times, I'm a little bit of a house nerd. I always want to find a house to live in, and there are a couple in Elwynn Forest. This one here in the Eastvale logging camp is a nice little 2-story house. You've got two little beds tucked under the eaves, some shelves and a wardrobe and a crackling fireplace in the downstairs room. A couple of nice chairs for everybody to sit back at. You've got a library, very important. It's very, very crucial for me to have a library in my house. And the master bedroom has this beautiful, beautiful canopied 4-poster bed. So this is a definite good option. If Blizzard would ever actually let us make our own houses, I'd add a few more things. But you know what? As just a nice hangout spot, and surprisingly, for the realm I play on, that did not have people in it. The rest of the houses here at the Eastvale logging camp don't really have, none of them have beds, so I don't consider them to be actual houses. But all in all, they aren't too bad. They all kind of look like this one here. You know, you got a fireplace, a table, little wardrobe, footlocker. The other important thing to keep in mind is over here, you can buy some mounts. They're going to be your basic human mounts, and you do, I think, have to have reputation with Stormwind to pick them up. But you can buy a pinto, a chestnut, a brown horse, and then a swift brown, a swift palomino, and a swift white horse.
See you around.
So if you are looking for learning how to ride without going to Stormwind or picking up some pretty little horses, I mean, I definitely have a weakness for horses. So that is, and you can actually see what they all look like before you buy them, if you are into that. I do think it's funny that the Swift Palomino is actually a Palomino, but it's really hard to tell because of all the armor he's wearing. But yeah, if you are looking to buy a horse, also, if your character happens to be a tailor, there's an early tailoring quest that you can do here. Oh, and look, it's Mr. Woofles. That's actually kind of cute. But yeah, there's an early tailoring quest that you can pick up from Sarah Timberlane, and she's going to have you kill some bandits and stuff. It's a fun little quest chain. Other than that, not too very much in the Eastvale logging camp. So we're going to move on a little bit and go to the Brackenwell Pumpkin Patch, which is actually where Sarah will send you because she needs you to kill these bandits and get some of the scraps that they're carrying, and she'll make you a nice shirt. Not too much inside those barns, just empty barn stuff. So we are going to head over now to Stonecairn Lake, which I feel like a lot of people know that it's back here, but it's a really nice little area. There's nothing like massively exciting. There is I think it's the Jasper Lode mine is back here. And it's kind of interesting. I think I'm in the wrong spot, but there's a mine around here somewhere. The Jasper Lode mine is interesting because you will end up, if you go back into it far enough, you're going to end up fighting some really gooey spiders. Like, you'll fight a lot of kobolds and then spiders. Now here, surrounded by mages everywhere, you have the Hero's Vigil. You can go ahead and click on the Stone of Remembrance, and it says, "This monument is dedicated to all those who have fallen in the protection of Stormwind. Our people have weathered unbelievable hardships to retain their freedoms and to control their own destinies. It is here we remember every sacrifice our citizens have made during the first war that riddled our people." So a little bit of local lore and history. Usually, although it looks like somebody has killed them all, it is surrounded by rogue wizards. But looks like somebody just managed to kill them all off. There's also, I'm pretty sure this guy here is someone that you are searching for that I do believe the wizards killed. Don't quote me on that, been a while since I've done these quests. You've also got a couple of Murloc settlements here on Stonecairn Lake. They will mess you up if you are a low level. I cannot tell you how many times I have been overwhelmed by Murlocs. Okay, so the Jasper Lode mine is actually just a little bit up and over this mountain ridge. Or if you're walking, it's a little walk around the mountain ridge. But yeah, you go in and you're going to battle a bunch of kobolds for a while. It's worth it if you're in here mostly because of all the copper. I mean, going into a mine is a great thing to do if your character is a miner, because there's a good amount of copper. But yeah, then you get to the back of it, and you can see even the poor kobolds have had a bad time back here in the back of the mine. They are all wrapped up. And I can't remember if there is a queen spider. I feel like there should be, possibly up there on the ceiling, which is also full of creepy kobolds everywhere. But yeah, that is the Jasper Lode mine. There are actually 2 mines in Elwynn Forest. There's the Jasper Lode and I think the Django Lode. Don't quote me on that either. We'll find out when we get there. But that's about it over here. Like I said, other than kobolds everywhere. So we will keep on keeping on once I pull these kobolds off of me. Alright, our next destination is the Tower of Azora, which, unlike all the rest of the watchtowers, is a proper mage tower. And it's kind of cool. Aesthetically, it is very cool looking, and it's full of all these little gnomes who are the servants of Azora. And supposedly, although I'm not really hearing it. Oh, yeah, maybe. It's the gnome music that plays in here, probably to keep these gnomes happy. But yeah, you've got... I personally like this place just because it's such a good library. You've got a couple different vendors that you can sell to, and up at the very top is, I do believe, an enchanting trainer
King's honor, friend.
Who can teach you all sorts of interesting enchanting things, which I should probably bring my enchanter here and see if there's anything that she doesn't know. Also up here is a seller of arcane goods. You've got the master of the tower up here at the top, and you have this curious little eye that you can actually click on. So we're going to click on the Eye of Azora. And it just gives you a neat little 360 view, and I don't know, I think it's kind of cool. I also really like that skeleton. Again, it's for a quest chain that I have not done in a very long time, so I don't remember everything about it, but it's kind of neat. I mean, it's kind of fun to poke around and check out all of these areas. Mount back up. Gotta love the kitty cat. Also, we've got random graveyards just sort of everywhere. You can go down here and look over into Duskwood, which is right across the river there. And our next spot, I do believe, is Jared's Landing, if I am not mistaken. Yep. So Jared's Landing used to be under the control of the Defias Brotherhood. Now it is just run by a group of thieves who have taken it over, headed up by the Dockmaster. When you kill him, his bodyguards will spawn. Kill them too, and voila, you have a spiffy little house right on the river. Granted, they're going to respawn every few minutes, so this is not a house I would recommend as a place for your character to live/hang out. Moving a little bit further along, you have the McClure Vineyards. Now, what's really fun is the McClures, and I think it's the Stonyfields, are a reference to the Hatfields and McCoys. And like the Hatfields and McCoys, they have had a feud for generations. They also have a pair of young lovers who you can help to reunite and mend the feud between these families. The thing I like, and I can't remember if it is in the McClure farm, no. So it's in the Stonyfield barn, where there's just a bunch of random cows in the barn, and it makes me happy. Unfortunately, none of the farmhouses actually are, again, what I consider a true house. Oh, other side note, if you are into pet battling, you can fight Julia Stevens here. She's got 2 level 3 or level 2 snakes. Easy fight, very easy experience points. So right there we have the Fargo Deep Mine, and you go across the mine and you end up over here at the Stonyfield farm, or Stonefield, I guess. And Grandma actually is the one that wants to help reunite these lovers and mend the feud. It's kind of fun. You'll do some quests for them. You have to kill Princess, that giant hog, because she is, I think, eaten a necklace. And in this barn, you actually have these cows. Now, you can kill the cows. I wouldn't recommend it. They don't give you anything. They just fall over and die, and it's kind of sad. I did kill them all to see if Gina Kingston would get mad at me, but she doesn't.
Hello.
All she does is say hello.
Good day to you. How are you? Hey there. You need something? I'm kind of busy. Knock it off. What's your problem? How are you?
So yeah, also if you click on pretty much any NPC that talks, after a while you can irritate them to the point where they start getting just a little miffed with you. I personally find it hilarious. And so I have been known to irritate all sorts of NPCs. Alright, down here at the forest edge you have another little tower and a curious little island. If you go back here past Hogger's Retreat, which, oh my goodness, the legacy of Hogger. He was an elite back in the day that you used to really have to get a group together to kill Hogger. He's gotten a lot easier over the years. In fact, now you can fight, and he is, I think, the final boss of the Stormwind Keep. But he used to be quite the fight. But yeah, I found this island here, and it's just a random island with what looks like possibly a dwarf grave, but I'm not sure. No idea if it's a tribute to someone. They're not clickable or anything. I just found them and have always kind of wondered about them. So, a couple more things, and then we'll poke our heads into Goldshire. Goldshire is funny because on almost every realm, it is a place where people hang out and duel. And they do that here on Moonguard too, but they also, well, if you're in the WoW community, most of Moonguard's bad reputation comes from the Goldshire Inn. You don't actually see anything in there, though, other than masses of people when you run inside. But yes, you can go here into the Westbrook Garrison, and it's another nice one, and almost always empty. So you've got a nice barracks right here. You've got a cool little storeroom back on this side, where you can get some weapons and armor. You have your very own basement dungeon. Don't mind me, sorry. But you've got your very own little basement dungeon down here. And then upstairs you have, as always, a council room and a catwalk around the top. So it's another place that if you want your very own castle, here's a great place to have one. With epic music in the background. You've got to love that. So yeah, we'll head up to the catwalk really quick. I do love the Stormwind music. So yeah, you can just head up here. You've got the catwalk. You can also climb up here on the roof. I do love, in World of Warcraft, I'm not afraid of heights. In real life, you might get me up onto these structures, but you're never going to get me down. Also behind this area, there is usually a couple of different rares that hang out. One of them is a big bear that you can kill. You've got another little house over here. Again, not too much to this one. But if you haven't looted it already, there is usually a treasure chest in the bottom of this lake, at least until you've looted it once. Also, up in this corner of the map, you have Thunder Falls. There is a fishing daily quest from Stormwind that will periodically send you out here to do a little bit of fishing. If you're a low level, these bandits can be a little bit of an issue, but not too big of a deal. I actually really like this spot. It's just kind of a really peaceful area, especially if you follow the falls down. And you can just come to a nice, just little chill area. Which is another thing I really appreciate about World of Warcraft. There's a lot of attention to detail. But yeah, you can see right there is Stormwind City. And right up here, which is technically inside of Stormwind City, is a portal. It's only a one-way portal, but it is a portal from a Draenor dungeon that you come back out through there, do a few things, and then go back into Warlords of Draenor content. But I do appreciate that they left that up there. Alright. Just a couple more little things before we go to the dreaded Goldshire. Also it's Thanksgiving now. I'm gonna actually have to go do the Thanksgiving quests. So, if you are into World of Warcraft pets, you definitely want to come here right outside of the human starting area and visit the crazy cat lady. This is Donnie and Thiana. She is the crazy cat lady. She will sell you a Bombay, a Cornish Rex, an orange tabby, and a silver tabby cat. And they're like 32 silver. You'll see them on the auction house, but honestly,
See you later.
I wouldn't pay auction house prices for what you can get for 32 silver. And just like with the horses, you can see the various cats that she sells just running around in the house. Got an orange tabby, Cornish Rex, silver tabby, and the ever popular Bombay. Very cute. Alright, one other thing, which I actually did show in the Stormwind video, but you might not have seen that. So, just right up here in the hills, above Stormwind City itself, if I can manage to find it and not get lost, you have a cute little cabin right up behind Stormwind Keep. And in that little cabin, there is a gnome and a bunch of sheep. And it's kind of fun. If you kill one very special sheep, he'll explode, and the little gnome will come out and yell at you. And that is Tecton. He is an exploding sheep. Hello, Tecton. How you doing there, bud? He definitely doesn't look like too many sheep I've ever seen before. I think he might be tameable for hunters. I'm not sure if they made him tameable or not, but yes, if you kill him, not only does he blow you up, but, yeah. You make AG a little mad. He doesn't think you're very considerate. But there's no loot on Tecton. It's just one of those ridiculous little things that's quite a bit of fun to do. Also, I did point out in the Stormwind video, there is a couple down here. It's Terp and Rue, and they're corgis, and they have pretty much retired from city life. They are done with it. They are done with adventuring. They just want to live together in peace and happiness out in the hills above Stormwind. And, you know, honestly, who doesn't want that? Alright, we are flying over Northshire Abbey and Northshire Valley, which is the human starter zone, which you would have seen if you watched my human starter zone video. Oh, one more thing. I feel like I say that a lot. If I can find it, there is also one, right here, little house tucked away in the hills that has an alchemy trainer and an herbalism trainer up here in it. Don't know if he sells anything unique, but if you're looking for him, he is up here. I think it's back in the day. I say that a lot, but back definitely pre-Cataclysm, you had to go and find the trainers, especially in the starting areas, and it was really honestly kind of nice when they added the profession trainers that are just sort of one trainer that can train every profession. Alright, don't know if this house is going to be occupied, but we're going to poke our heads in because this is the second house in Elwynn Forest. It's exactly like the one back in the logging camp. It's just this one is actually in Goldshire itself. So yeah, exactly the same house. Same layout and everything. I think the only big difference is this house has a couple of trainers in it. So skinning and leather working right here. One other thing that I almost forgot about, I have heard, although I have not seen, that at a certain point of the day, I think it's like 7 a.m., these children go into one of the houses and form like a pentagram shape and do some really weird like ritual. That could be an urban legend. I have never seen it with my own eyes. All I know is these kids are creepy. Most World of Warcraft children are definitely creepy. Alright, so yes, here we have Goldshire. It is the largest hub, and it's going to be your first questing hub if you are starting as a new human player, definitely. And as you can see, there are people out here doing duels and all sorts of things. We're gonna go invisible and we're gonna poke our head into the inn, although I can't really show you around the inn because, as you can see, there are a few people in here. I don't hang out much in here, honestly. You cannot even tell what's going on in here because there's just too many people. So, it's your standard inn. I was going to do a tour through it in a different, in one of the different realms, but honestly, there's pretty much no point. But yeah, Goldshire itself, you've got the blacksmith shop, where you can smelt your ores. The big thing that is cool about Goldshire is once a month, in this spot right here, the Darkmoon Fair portal opens. So, always a good time. If you're on the Horde side, the Darkmoon Fair portal will open near Thunderbluff in Mooglor. And that's also very cool. Also, I think this dragon is trying to whack me. That's fine. But back in, well, before the Cataclysm, the Dark Moon Fair would come to one of, I think, 7 or 8 different locations, and you had to travel to it after you figured out where it actually was, and it only appeared in one spot on the map. So all of the Horde and Alliance players would have to go into each other's territories to go to the fair that month. So, little fun thing. Anyway, that's about it for Elwynn Forest. If I missed anything, please let me know, because it is always entirely possible that I forgot or missed several things. Next week, we are going to be going through Westfall, which is a greatly changed area. As you can see, it's got some interesting weather effects going right now. But yeah, we're going to go through Westfall. There's a couple interesting things that I've found in Westfall, so I'm looking forward to showing you those. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next week when we go through Westfall. By the way, happy Thanksgiving.